Call the meeting to order. Dr. Thomas, do we have someone that's going to lead us in the pledge?
We do have a student from MacArthur Middle that will lead us in the pledge tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, call roll, please.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clogfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Here.
Ms. Edwards?
Here.
Mr. Jester?
Here.
Colonel King?
Okay, I'm going to turn over the agenda to you right now.
Okay, thank you. At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Regina Stever, principal of MacArthur Middle, who will introduce two of her instructors with some unique programs for you to hear about tonight.
Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity. It's an exciting night for MacArthur Middle School because we're doing really great things there. We always have, but we have two new innovative programs that deal with technology, and we were invited to come up present. So I am just going to introduce and then get out of the way and let the instructors and the students shine. So first we'll have Mr. Dan Wilmore. If you'll come up, Dan, and bring your students and share your program.
The pilot program for MacArthur and for Lawton Public Schools. And if it works, hopefully we can send it out to all the other middle schools and high schools. 3 or 4 years ago, I started working on the computer programs here at MacArthur Middle School, and when I first started the program, I saw a need for the computers to be repaired. So I thought that I needed to start fixing them, or somebody needed to fix them, because the turnaround would be kind of rough when we had about 800 computers here in the school. So I talked with AJ if I could develop a program that we could have the students learn to fix the computers after I started learning how to work on them. And AJ said that would be a great idea. So the support that I got from AJ and with their help, we developed a program where we could teach the students how to be the techs of the school, to where they can learn how to fix the computers and repair them, not just the software side of it, but literally take the computers apart, replace the screens, replace the mouse pads, replace the batteries, and do some of the mechanical parts of the computers instead of just the software parts of the computers.
So this program is all about learning how to fix computers and how they work. It's been very educational for me. I've always been interested in this.
MacArthur Middle School has started the Student Tech program, and MacArthur High School already has the Tech program, and they've had it for about 3 years.
Program for MacArthur and for Lawton Public Schools. And if it works, hopefully we can send it out to all the other middle schools and high schools. 3 or 4 years ago, I started working on the computer programs here at MacArthur Middle School. And when I first started the program, I saw a need for the computers to be repaired. So I thought that I needed to start fixing them, or somebody needed to fix them, because the turnaround would be kind of rough when we had about 800 computers here in the school. So I talked with AJ if I could develop a program that we could have the students learn to fix the computers after I started learning how to work on them. And AJ said that would be a great idea. So the support that I got from AJ and with their help, we developed a program where we could teach the students how to be the techs of the school, to where they can learn how to fix the computers and repair them, not just the software side of it, but literally take the computers apart, replace the screens, replace the mouse pads, replace the batteries, and do some of the mechanical parts of the computers instead of just the software parts of the computers.
So this program is all about learning how to fix computers and how they work. It's been very educational for me. I've always been interested in this.
MacArthur Middle School has started the Student Tech program, and MacArthur High School already has the Tech program, and they've had it for about 3 years. So if a student enters the program at MacArthur Middle School, they can progress through this program, and by the time they leave high school, they'll have 7 years of on-the-job training and experience. So by the time they go to college or vocational technical training school or even if they're just looking for a job, they've got this in their portfolio and on their resume where they can potentially, land those jobs without needing that experience that a lot of jobs require.
We plan for them to start at 7th grade, so they're here with me in 7th grade and 8th grade, and then transition into the high school for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So we're building a tradition so they walk straight in, they know how to fix everything all the way through, and then when they walk out of high school, they should be fully certified and employable at that time to work in the technology field.
This is something I never thought of.
So these are 3 of my techs that I have in. We have to, mind you, we've only been doing this for a few months, and in a very, very short period of time, they were able to dismantle the computers and put them back together. And my only problem is I can't keep them busy enough. So we would like to have more work. And if you have any questions for them, please feel free to ask them. But I will tell you one thing. Just in the short time that we've employed the computers in MacArthur Middle School, we've repaired over 53 computers in our school. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But if you think about it, we have 800 computers. It's not just being broken, it's the part of them doing just power washing the computers or resetting the computers or whatever it may be. But the kids are the ones that do the work, and they're the ones that's the real champions of doing this. So if you have any questions for them, please feel free to, I want them to tell you what they think about it.
I think it's really great.
You guys come up to the microphone. Tell us what you're doing.
Tell us your favorite part.
Yeah, you guys want to tell us your favorite part of the program?
So my favorite part of the program is probably when we get to do more of the physical things, like taking it apart, fixing it, and stuff like that. That's probably my favorite part.
That is really great. What about you girls?
I agree with her. The physical stuff is, I think, helps us learn better and process the stuff better.
It's really great.
I think my favorite part is the having to figure what's wrong with the computer and fixing it from there.
It is really great. Well, I think what you girls are doing is amazing. I think the program is great, and the skills that you guys are teaching are real world skills, and especially in technology, like AJ said, people care about experience a lot. So graduating with that skill is really going to help all of you. So I hope you all stay with it.
Now you can fix mom and dad's computer.
Yeah.
Do you hire out?
Yeah. I was going to say.
Yeah, it's a funny thing you say that. We actually have some teachers that brought their computers for us
There you go.
to fix them, and we have fixed them.
That's great.
And so that's when they get bored. I said, well, you can bring them in, we'll fix them. And we're trying to learn how to fix iPads as well.
Yeah, that would be
So
good.
that's our next thing, and we're learning to, Mr. Watson's going to teach us how to start working on iPhones and stuff as well. And I think that's a pretty good thing if they can learn this whole realm of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be
It's a great
replacing
thing,
screens
so.
every day.
That's awesome.
Where would these computers be going to get fixed if the kids weren't fixed? AJ, so this is we need this in all the schools.
So we have the problem. The thing of it is what we talked about a long time ago, is first we have to put the work order in, wait for somebody to come get it, send it to the district, and Arthur Jones he's overloaded big time.
Yeah.
So we have to wait for him to get time, or his crew to get time to fix them, and then they have to come back to the district. So at a minimum, we're talking 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
So we can get the turnaround done. Like this morning, I ordered a battery for one of our computers, got it fixed, and gave it back to the kid today. So it was a 1-day turnaround.
That's great.
So it saves the district money, and it saves our kids time getting their equipment right back to them. So this is a win situation for them.
It is.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Great job. Thank you for doing
And I
it.
appreciate it.
It's one thing that I'd like to say thank you to the district for providing these Chromebooks. We went 1-to-1 this year. Thank you for that. It's made all the difference in the world in how instruction is happening in our classrooms. And with this component, it's made it possible to have the Chromebooks and be able to use them. Okay, the next program. This program is really special because it is kid-generated. The kids are doing this. They're designing it. They're running it, writing it, directing it, publishing it, And with some new equipment that AJ and Lynn have guided us in purchasing, we're going to move forward with this project into broadcasting very soon. So with that, Mr. Morlatt, if you will bring your students up and have your presentation.
Trey, what is your role on Night Minute?
I'm a cameraman and I help behind the scenes.
Trey, what is your role on Mac Minute?
I'm a cameraman and I help behind the scenes and when I'm needed.
Okay, why do you like being a part of the Mac Minute?
Because it's good for like other schools to know what we're doing and how we help our community.
And what do you hope the future or the goal for this Mac Minute is?
I hope we can pass Mac Minute down to future generations and it can become bigger in different schools.
Okay, what do you like about the Mac Minute?
I like helping our school community with our upcoming school events.
Okay, what is your goal for this Mac Minute?
Well, maybe if Mac Minute improves and gets big hits, then we could probably be on the news.
My role is like being behind the cameras, or sometimes if we're lack of people, I be in front of the camera.
Do you enjoy Mac Minute?
I enjoy Mac Minute a lot. There are multiple reasons why. To like inform people, and it's fun to hang around with your friends and do things.
I'm usually a host, and sometimes if I'm needed, I help behind the camera.
Okay, what is your future or goal for this Mac Minute?
I hope that Mac Minute can become larger and help everyone around the city know what we can do as a school.
Dane, what is your role on Mac Minute?
I am a producer and an editor.
What do you enjoy about being a part of the Mac Minute?
I love being able to do something that really helps our community and really matters.
Okay, what do you hope the future is for this Mac Minute?
I hope that it can just continue to expand and just grow among the schools. And
I'm mostly in front of the camera.
How does it feel to be a part of the Mac Minute?
It feels fine, feels good, because you get the nice experience of what journalism is and what they do.
I'm the yearbook advisor for MacArthur Middle School, and guys, can we clap again for these students who made this video? I got to brag on these students because one thing that's not noted is these are all yearbook students. Dane Edwards is a yearbook assistant editor and the producer for Mac Minute. Trey Carpenter and Garrett Herring are both yearbook section leaders and production assistants for this program. Kira and Kirsten Doyle are managing editors, and they're still hosts. These students are doing double duty. For 1 hour a day, my classroom gets to become a newsroom where we're handling print production and video production. The instructions I gave them was, what do we need to do for the board meeting? We need to explain what we're doing. Most people have seen the program, so we need to explain what goes on behind the scenes. Those were pretty much the instructions I gave. They put that together. They came up with the questions. We got the footage, corrected everything, gave all the footage to Dane, and Dane put that together. This was all student produced, student led. And with that, I would like to open this to the board and ask them what you will.
I love it. I catch it on Facebook. I share it. I think y'all done a fabulous job. Very neat program. So is anybody planning to go professional with this later on?
I'd love to. It's, like it's a very interesting field to be in, and obviously my mom, she owns a business like that, and just being able to do something to kind of.
So it's good training again for future.
It really is. One of the things I think is so incredible about what Mr. Morlatt and these kids are doing is, they really are learning what we use, like the software and the tools and the processes that we use in the real world, in the real agency world, and in journalism. So, and the skills that they're learning are literally on what's being used in the business world now, and I think it's just so valuable.
May I add that to
Absolutely.
that, ma'am? One of the most important things that we've seen from that is now that they're developing and creating this content, they're asking questions on why the content they're given, they're consuming, is done the way it is.
Oh.
So you can start, once you learn how to create this content, you're learning how you're influenced by content as well. And that goes such a long way in media literacy and what we need to do in this world with social media.
So true. Very good.
Any of you guys got anything to say? Come on, don't be shy. Your
Garrett,
TV
Garrett, what's your
stars.
favorite part?
My favorite part about Mag Minute is just being like with your peers and stuff, because if you were with people like you didn't really get along with, then it wouldn't be as fun because you know each other's rule and how they act. So it's fun to do things that you can do for your community with your friends.
To add to what Garrett said, I like the teamwork aspect of it because it helps us how to work with the team. Your big is like all about teaming and getting together.
It was really
Yeah,
good.
our whole group that we have in yearbook and with Mac Minute, we're all just very tight and very well linked as friends, and it's just very easy and like fun and like heartfelt to just be able to like just express. And there's like no hard feelings with like any suggestions that anybody gives, which we give a lot of suggestions and feedback to each other.
That's good. That's very important.
Very mature.
Now, have you guys had to cover some stuff that you're not involved in that goes beyond your friends? Do you cover some other things that you're not involved in the program?
Like we really do just cover like big events that are going on in the school. So like we've covered volleyball and just a bunch of stuff like that, and then as well in yearbook we're covering like all of the school events that go on in our school. So we cover like bands and orchestra and just like all of that kind of stuff that's not what some of us are involved in.
It's really great.
Awesome.
You guys are doing a great job.
Yes,
Very proud of
for
all
sure.
of you. Grateful for the program.
She's going to be a lady cleaner.
With that, we have architects and construction managers report. Corey could not be with us tonight.
Yeah, you guys are all welcome to go. You can leave now. It's about to get real boring.
Great job, guys.
Corey could not be with us tonight, nor could Joshua, but we've been upgraded to Matt Graves.
Got some big shoes to fill, covering for both those groups. As you know, Corey does a great job, as does Crossland. So I'll begin with Crossland tonight. Currently, they've delivered all of the safe rooms except for Whittier. Recently received the owner or the operations and maintenance manuals for the 7 safe rooms that were completed earlier this year. Those have been delivered to the facilities maintenance, so those are considered closed out. Whittier's under construction currently. There's finishes going on inside. The exterior is painted. Mechanical work is going on. They're working between the few sprinkles we had today to do some site work. They're looking at a substantial completion date of December 6th. They're planning on allowing teachers to move over Christmas break, and we currently have scheduled a ribbon cutting for December 18th. So, yeah. So, at Eisenhower Middle School, that's the other project in town. They are roughly 60% complete. They have the building nearly completely dry, or the envelope complete. So that means roof, membrane, nearly complete. The auditorium, there's still decking over there, and then at the admin wing of the building. But much more progress is made over on the classroom wing side. They have temporary heat going on and tape bed paint. They've got that portion of the building sealed off, completing windows, exterior, beginning subgrade prep of the east parking lot. There are critical dates coming up, shooting for climate control. It's mainly heat, and so the chillers showed up on site today and the air handlers are showing up, but if we can get building climate control end of January, they'll be able to maintain their schedule and finishes can continue unabated. Let's see, they are shooting for, trying to think some of the, so first punch list, the classroom wing side, their punch list, which happens before our final inspection, would be in May, I believe, is and every 30 days a portion of the building being ready for our punch list following that. Substantial completion date for Eisenhower of July 2nd. So, are there any questions about any of those projects? Or?
It looks wonderful.
Okay.
Looks wonderful.
Yeah, they look really good.
Mhm. Done a
They
great
really
job.
do. As far as our update, you have on the agenda tonight a contract for Caven's Construction for the freezer project, food warehouse, and then also for RCJ Construction. And we have upcoming bidding of central chiller replacement. And then other than that, and a final payment. So the MacArthur High School fire alarm was inspected. They had one punch list item on there, was signed off a couple of weeks ago. So you have that also. That is approved for final payment tonight. So.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Here. Thank you.
Joshua did email me today and said he would be happy to set up another tour late January, early February. If you want to give us a date, we'll arrange that with him.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Okay. All right, now I think we're going to change things up a
Yeah,
little
at
bit.
this point, we have a board member that needs to leave early tonight, so the board is going to change the order of the agenda and go into a brief executive session, and we'll be back shortly.
Okay, do I have a motion to go to executive session? So moved.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
And I think Chuck's coming with us. Call roll, please.
Kelly and Mary. Miss Bradley?
Yes.
Miss Clodfelter?
Yeah, here.
Miss Nywer?
Here.
Miss Edwards?
Here.
Mr. Jester? He left
He
at
left.
5:40.
Yes. All right. Read the minutes from the executive session. The Board of Education went into executive session at 5:20 p.m. Members present included Carla Clodfelter, President, Patty Nyworth, Vice President, Kelly Edwards, Mary Bradley, and Kent Jester, who left at 5:40 p.m. Others present included Chuck Wade, the LPS full attorney. Items discussed included the employing, promoting, or receiving resignation of individual and certified and support salaried personnel as listed on the certified and support personnel reports. The employment of a new superintendent of schools. During the executive session, the board discussed these items and no other items, and no action was taken, and the board returned to open session at 5:40 p.m. And this constitutes the minutes of the executive session. All right, we're a little out of order, so I'm going to hand it back to Dr.
We're
Thomas.
back to item 6, departmental reports. Dr. Baden is under the weather tonight, so I'd like to ask Rick Owens to address action item 6A, a change to the school calendar.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I believe you have a paper copy of the calendar there. And if you'll look at that document, we had to put a paper copy out because either communication or clerical, the error on May 8th, should be a circle there, and I think it is on the paper copy. And January 3rd was a professional development day, and what we did there was we switched it where the day, May 8th was a day off, no school, and so we switched those two. And everything's been lined out with the media center. We're going to have a couple of people come in because if we have enrollments over the Christmas break, they volunteered to come in and get those kids processed so when they show up for the first day of school, they'll be ready to go. So we appreciate Arthur and his staff. The benefits to this calendar change was we give AP testing on the 8th. And now we're going to have teachers in the building instead of counselors only, so we'll have them there. So that'll take care of that. And went ahead and run some data on that. When we have a PD day, the first day on a Friday, we had 195 employee absences, and our average is usually 100, 135 per day, so it jumped significantly, and that was in 2018. 2019, we had a weather day. This also gives the military students time to get back. So it helps them because when we had the weather day last year, the absences on that Monday were 153. So it was significant. So if you pass this, we'll file it with the State Department and get a calendar change and be ready to go.
Motion to accept. Motion to approve.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Miss Bradley?
Yes.
Miss Clodfelter?
Yes.
Miss Nywer?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Let me add to that, we may have child nutrition folks coming in to receive food on that Friday.
Yes, Child Nutrition has taken care of everything.
Okay.
They're going to have the warehouse people are going to take care of that. I checked that out today.
Okay, thank you.
Item 6B is an informational item. Ms. Gableman will give you a report on our cohort dropout rate, which is a new way of calculating our dropout rates.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, you should have a copy of the dropout report. It's wordy, just like the assessment report. But I wanted to explain because in the past we've always calculated our graduation reports, our absence reports, our dropout reports not by cohort but by grade. And because of the federal guidelines and ESSA guidelines, that's changed. We are now counting cohort. As with anything, when you switch to that kind of a system of accountability, then you make mistakes. You have things that you have to correct in your documentation and policies and things that you need to kind of tweak to get that right. So if you look at the report, figures 1 and 2 show the data for dropouts in 16-17 and 17-18. but figures 3 through 7 demonstrate what the dropouts are, what the trend was, and what the cohort dropout actually is. And those are going to change too as the schools work harder to tweak how we do attendance, how we mark things. We have a very transient situation with our military, and sometimes they'll come in and we're going somewhere, can I have this information, and then they leave. We've got schools that are giving that information out rather than waiting for their other schools to call us back, and that affects what it looks like on our end. So we're working on that. So due to those changes in law and the planning and reflection and modification to our reports, we will this will look better next year. Do you have any questions for me?
Briefly explain how we define a cohort.
Yes. When we go by grade, you would count that by the kid enrolls in August, all the kids in that particular class or grade, and you count them at the end in May. With the cohort, it's the student this group that's enrolling as freshmen. That's going to be your cohort. So you count them from 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And it's a little bit harder to account for all of that. In the cohort, it's just putting those documents and those pieces in place so that we have a better accountability for them.
Somebody leaves, it's really.
Yes, ma'am.
More of a cumulative
Yes.
over the high school experience.
Yes. Yes, sir.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Is there
it.
any other questions?
No.
All right.
So,
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Appreciate it.
Action item 6C, Gene Hastings will give you a briefing on the revised salary schedules for VOAG and vocational teachers.
I apologize for having to bring this back again, but when I attended the Administrators Summit on November 5th, I was informed that the Career Tech had given a $200 increase to our vocational agriculture teachers and our vocational educators. So to get our salaries to reflect that, it's bringing it back one more time, and that's the change.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Ms.
Action item 6D is a proposed pay increase for our extra duty salaries. And we had talked about this for a couple months. This was the year where we had promised to do something with extra duty pay.
Thank you, Board, for the opportunity to present to you tonight. First off, I want to thank Gene Hastings and Paula Dill. There was a lot of work that has went into this. A number of people have presented presentations and requests as far as pay and raises and that sort of thing are concerned. The first thing I want to do is look at a couple of items where we are asking to add new extra duty lines, and there are 3 of those. One is called the School Broadcast Advisor. There are 3 of those. That was presented by Lynn Cordes. One is the Site Tech Repair Advisor as a pilot. I think you saw that presented this evening. And the other is the EL Program Assistant, which was brought by Gene Hastings. I believe that program is at... Okay. And so those are the 3 programs, and you see the pay for each one of those as they've been identified. So those are new positions. And then at the top, you see that we are looking to recommend that we implement a 10% pay increase for all extra duty lines, that be retroactive to July the 1st, 2019, and the approximate cost is $338,549 to the district, that no extra duty pay raise will be given for extra duty lines that were added this year. That's going to be an average of a $622.49 pay raise for each teacher or each individual. There are 423 teachers or coaches or individuals impacted by this pay raise. The last time that a pay raise was given of this type or of this kind was in July 2009. That is not correct. It was not July 2019. It was in July of 2016, and it was an 8% increase. Okay, any questions about that?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Call roll, please.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Thank you, Lance.
Superintendent's report, I have 3 items, or 2 items for action. One is announcements. The first would be the TIF report that TIF plan the city is proposing. I spoke to you last month about that, and I have included the latest versions of that. Since the original version, which captured all of the taxing entities' growth funds until $30 million was raised for infrastructure, version 2 provides a 25% net benefit to the taxing entities, plus a 10% fund for STEM education, which will be, we're not sure how that's going to be administered yet, but it would be for projects directed toward growth of our technology businesses. The sweetener to that is that the mayor is going to try to add another 10% for the K-12 schools, and it's a net benefit, so they'll run it through the formula, but it'll be an extra 10% for those that run through the formula, which would be cash for the first one, possibly Lawton for the second one. I believe that second proposal is amenable to all of the taxing entities. We're to the point where we can participate in how that's shaped, or we can choose to vote no and
still get to participate.
And still get to participate.
Right.
So my plan at this point would be to vote no on the original plan and vote yes on the revised plan that provides 25 or 35% net benefit, unless you direct me otherwise.
Okay. All right, any questions or discussions? All right, let's vote on the original first.
Well,
right?
we can do it all together.
We don't really need a vote unless you want to direct me to do
We just
something.
direct him, we don't have to have a vote. Okay,
Yeah.
I was confused, all right.
No,
Okay.
I trust your judgment on that. Obviously,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
understand economic development and education. And
All right, great.
I think it's the best
Better
deal we're
than it
going to
started
get.
out. Yeah, for sure.
Action item 7B, with the departure of our treasurer, we need to appoint a new treasurer, and I would propose that we appoint Lance Gibbs as our treasurer for the remainder of the fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Thank you. Superintendent's announcements. Good news to share today. I had the pleasure of attending the transition program Thanksgiving luncheon hosted by the VFW this year. Great turnout. A lot of parents there. The place was jam-packed. The kids were having a great time. A lot of smiles in that room. It's a Thanksgiving lunch I won't soon forget.
I heard the parents got up and even danced or something.
The kids got up and danced. Now that they were threatening for me to get up and dance, and they'd video it and bring it back. So I said, "Well, you just killed that deal."
Exactly.
Like I was going to anyway. Additionally, wanted to bring you the news that MacArthur High has a new club, and it's a cooking club. And came about by a science teacher talking to the kids about when you make a recipe, what chemical changes take place to produce the food that you're after. And kids started saying, "Recipe? I've never seen a recipe. What are you talking about?" And then they got to the point where they didn't understand the purpose of certain basic ingredients. So they formed a cooking club, and already they're up to 15 students. And, it's another one of those things that what we all learned as kids, maybe because we liked it our way, kids are not experiencing that. There's too much fast food available. So this is a great step in the right direction, I think, for healthier food and self-sufficient kids.
Yes, and also I've noticed on Facebook they asked for donations from the community for cookware and different things, and I think the response was really well received.
My dad's, oh my God. Oh, yeah.
And that brings us to the consent agenda.
Does anybody need anything removed from the consent agenda?
8G1, I believe it is.
8G1?
Make sure here.
And I do need to point out a change on the clerk's report under RCJ construction for the MacArthur High School HVAC renovation. We're showing that to come on your document from the 2017 bond fund 33. We need to take that from the 2015 sales tax
Yeah,
fund,
get it going.
consistent with what I had showed you before, Fund 26.
Okay.
And that would be the only change.
I'll move to the balance of the consent agenda, less 8G1. Second? I'll second. They're asleep.
She seconded.
I call roll.
Kind of surprised you. Miss Bradley?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Miss Nyworth?
Yes.
Miss Clodfelter?
Yes. Okay, somebody move 8G1. We need to make a motion to approve 8G1. I'll make that motion.
Second?
Call roll.
Miss Bradley?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Miss Nyworth?
Abstain.
Miss Clodfelter?
Yes. Okay.
I would like to point out 8E2, you have updated treasurer's balances for the end of fiscal 18 and fiscal 19 available to you.
Okay.
Surprised to see that on there.
All right. Now we need to probably make a motion to approve the personnel reports.
Yes, since we've already done the executive session, we will take care of the items after the executive session, and that would be approval of the certified and support personnel reports.
Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Call roll, please.
Miss Bradley?
Yes.
Miss Edwards?
Yes.
Miss Nyworth?
Yes.
Miss Clodfelter?
Yes. I just want to say, we're creatures of habit. So, I mean, you move us around, I mean. All right. So, do we have any reason to have any special board meetings between now and our next board meeting? We have set one. December the 5th at 4 o'clock. Yes, that's been set.
That's already set.
And our next regular board meeting is December the 9th here at Shoemaker at 5 p.m.
And we have no new business that I know
Okay.
Oh,
Who
Joe.
wants to make the motion tonight?
Yes,
Yes.
and that's at the Great Plains.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call roll. I
Miss
told you
Bradley?
we'd have to go
Yes.
in a certain order. We're
Miss
off.
Edwards?
Yes.
Miss Nyworth?
Yes.
Miss Clodfelter?
Yes.
Me and Kim could have
We
stayed to
missed
the
Kim
end.
when he
Look at
left.
that. He had to leave at 6
Yep.
and it's